Welcome to IT Tutorials. In this video, we will see how to configure IP reservation on DHCP. So what is DHCP IP reservation? It's reserving IP address for client computer, and it will be done by mapping IP address to MAC address of client computer. So there are two prerequisites. The first one is to decide IP address from scope in DHCP. So you should already have an active scope in DHCP, and you need to decide what IP address you want to reserve for client computer. So to do that, let us first open DHCP, and then under IPv4 I could see the scope that I have configured. So this is the scope test scope A that I have configured here. If I go to address pool, then I could see the set of IP addresses that I have configured in this scope. So it is 192.168.215.40 to 192.168.215.50. I have configured this scope as part of another video. You can check the link of that video in the description. So I'm going to select one IP address from this scope in order to reserve for a client computer. So let me select 192.168.215.45, and I'll just note down that IP address. Now the second prerequisite is to find MAC address of client computer. So for that I'll have to log in to the client computer. So now I have logged on to Windows 11 client computer, and I need to find out MAC address of this computer. So for that, let me first open command prompt, and then in command prompt type ipconfig space slash all. So ipconfig slash all will show me the details of network adapter. So this is the network adapter, and under this I could see physical address. So this physical address is the MAC address of this adapter. So let me note down this physical address. Now I'm back on the DHCP server. So I have noted the MAC address of client computer. So we have both IP address and MAC address. Now let us create IP reservation on DHCP. So in DHCP, within the scope, we have this option called reservations. So right click reservations and click on new reservation. And then first I'll have to give a name for this reservation. So a good way is to simply type the host name of the client computer. Then I'll give the IP address that I've decided, which is 192.168.215.45. And then I'll have to type the MAC address of the client computer. So let me copy this MAC address and then paste it here. And then click on add and then click close. Now under reservations, I could see this new entry, and if I right click this and click on properties, then it shows me the IP address and the MAC address of the computer. It also shows me the extra options which are part of the scope. That includes DNS server IP, the DNS domain name, and the default gateway address. So all those options are also added. So when the client computer will ask for a new IP address to the DHCP server, this server will assign this particular reserved address to the client computer, and along with that it will also assign these three options as well. So let us test this behavior on client computer. So now I am back on the client computer. The first thing you can do is to verify if DHCP is enabled for the network adapter. So you can either check the ipconfig slash all results. In ipconfig slash all, you can see DHCP enabled is yes, or go to run prompt and then type ncpa.cpl, and that will open up network connections window, and right click the network adapter, then double click IPv4, and then you should see this option selected, obtain an IP address automatically. Same option should be selected for DNS server address as well. So DHCP is already enabled for this adapter. Now go back to command prompt and then type ipconfig slash release So this will release the existing IP address. The existing IP address that we have is 192.168.215.40. So type ipconfig/release and click enter. And this has now released the 215.40 address. Now type ipconfig/renew so that it requests a new IP address to the DHCP server. And now it requested the new address, and we could see under IPv4 address it shows 192.168.215.45. So this is the same address that we had reserved for this client computer. So that means a DHCP IP reservation successfully worked for this client computer. So each time when this client computer will request for a new IP address, DHCP will assign this same reserved IP address to this computer. So if you found this information useful, then please subscribe to IT tutorials. You can also check more videos regarding Windows Server 2022 in the playlist. Thank you.